Alright, while I'm reading this this problem, I will also be underlining important information. Ian is borrowing $1,000 from his parents to buy a notebook computer. He plans to pay them back at the rate of $60 per month. So Ian borrowing $1,000 and is paying them back at $60 per month. Ken is borrowing $600 from his parents to purchase a snowboard. He plans to pay his parents back at the rate of $20 per month. Write an equation that can be used to determine after how many months the boys will owe the same amount. Same. When it's talking to me about two situations that are the same, I'm looking to see both of those situations equal to each other. On one side, we're going to be writing an expression about Ian. On the other side, we're going to be writing one about Ken. So, if he's borrowing $1,000 and he's paying them back $60 per month, it means that he starts owing them $1,000, and each month he has to pay back $60. So I'm using subtraction because this is about him owing money. If he starts by owing $1,000 and each month he's paying off that debt, he'll owe less and less money. It's very similar for Ken, except Ken actually starts only with a $600 debt, but he's only paying back $20 per month. I'm also using X to represent months. It doesn't give me a letter to specifically use in the problem, so I'm choosing X. So it says write an equation. I did that. Check. That's all I had to do. And that would be 2 points on this 6-point question. The next step says to determine algebraically, that's the key part there, and state in how many months the two boys will owe the same amount. How many months? I had used X to represent my months, so this is simply telling me to find X. The last part is to state the amount they will owe at this time. I'm going to put a little question mark on that because I'm going to get back to that later. I'm not quite sure what it means yet. But I know that it at least wants me to solve for X. So I'm just going to rewrite my equation from the first part of this problem and solve for X. There are many, many ways to go about doing this. You can move the 600 or the negative 60x first. I specifically decided to move the 600. So putting my dotted line down here, and I'm going to subtract 600, since that is the opposite of a positive 600. The result is I get 400 minus 60x equals negative, almost forgot that negative sign, x. Now, if the goal is to get x by itself, my right-hand side already has an x term, so I'm going to move that minus 60x. And to do that, I will be adding. Oh my gosh, ran out of room. Let's rewrite that over here. So the result of all of that is 400 equals, I think I made a mistake over here. This should be 40. So negative 20x plus 60 is 40x. Getting that x by itself, I am dividing by 40. So I get x equals 10. So 10 months, they will owe the same amount. Now this part over here that says state the amount they will owe at this time. Well, if at 10 months they both owe the same amount, I'm going to use Ian's expression for a second. If I want to know how much he owes at 10 months, I'm just going to replace that x with 10 and solve. This becomes 1,000 minus 600, and that's 400. So they'll owe $400. That's the second part. Not too bad. Alright, the very last step. Ian claims that he will have his loan paid off 6 months after he and Ken owe the same amount. I'm underlining that whole thing. 6 months after he and Ken owe the same amount. Determine and state if Ian is correct. Explain your reasoning. So 6 months after he and Ken owe the same amount, that's going to be, well, it's 10 months, because that was from the previous question, but it's plus 6, so I'm looking at 16 months here. How much does Ian owe? Ian says he won't have anything paid off. He won't have anything left to pay off. That means he would owe $0. Well, let's check if Ian did his math correctly here. If I have 1,000 minus 60, I'm replacing that x this time with 16 because I'm looking 16 months down the road. This becomes 1,000. Use your handy dandy calculator for this part. I did prior to doing this problem. So we would get 960. Well, if I subtract that, I'm left with $40. Ian, you are wrong. You still owe mom and dad $40. So Ian is incorrect because at 16 months he owes $40. Ran out of room there at the end, but it says Ian is incorrect because at 16 months he owes $40. And that is it. One thing to note, the writing the equation, that is 2 points. Using it, this whole second section there, that was 2 points. The very end, about if he actually paid off his loans, that's also another 2 points. So this is a 6-point question.